Ever wondered how to make the perfect Pignoli cookies for Christmas? Well, you're in for a treat. Christmas is a time of joy, warmth, and of course, delicious food. And what's more delightful than a batch of fresh, homemade Pignoli cookies? Originating the sunny landscapes of Italy, these traditional cookies have won hearts all around the globe, becoming a festive staple in many households. These bite-sized delights with their sweet almond base, topped with crunchy pine nuts, are not just cookies, they are little reminders of the magic that Christmas brings. Today, we're about to embark on a culinary adventure, a step-by-step journey to create these heavenly Christmas treats. From the ingredients you'll need to the baking process, we've got it all covered. So whether you're a seasoned baker or just starting out in the world of baking, this guide is for you. Ready to start this festive baking journey? Grab your aprons and let's dive into the world of Pignoli cookies. And don't forget to subscribe for more how-to guides. Making Pignoli cookies requires some simple ingredients. Let's break them down, shall we? First up, we have almond paste, the heart and soul of our cookie. It gives the cookie its characteristic rich, nutty flavor and its chewy texture. Moving on, we have sugar. It sweetens the deal but also helps to create a beautiful golden brown color when baked. Next, we have egg whites. They act as a natural binder, holding all our ingredients together, and also contribute to the cookie's crispy exterior. Lastly, we have the star of the show, pine nuts. These little gems are what give Pignoli cookies their name. They add a delightful crunch and a unique flavor that sets these cookies apart from the rest. So, there you have it. Almond paste, sugar, egg whites, and pine nuts. Simple, right? With all our ingredients ready, we move on to the preparation process. Before we dive into baking, there are a few preparations to be done. First things first, preheating the oven is crucial. It helps us maintain a consistent temperature from the moment we pop our cookies in. So, go ahead and set your oven to 325 degrees Fahrenheit. While our oven is heating up, we can move on to preparing the baking sheet. A well-prepared baking sheet is the secret to cookies that are evenly baked and easily removed. To do this, grab your baking sheet and line it with parchment paper. The parchment paper serves a dual purpose. It prevents the cookies from sticking to the pan and makes cleanup a breeze. Now, let's turn our attention to our star ingredient, the almond paste. Almond paste can be a bit stubborn and sticky, making it a challenge to work with in its whole form. To make life easier, we're going to break it down into smaller pieces. Use a knife to cut the paste into small chunks, about the size of a marble. This will help us incorporate it more easily into our cookie batter later on. Lastly, we need to separate our egg whites. Now this part is vital. We want our cookies to have a light, fluffy texture, and the egg whites are going to help us achieve that. So be careful not to get any yolk in your whites. Crack your eggs and gently transfer the yolk back and forth between the two halves of the shell, allowing the egg white to fall into a bowl below. Do this for each egg, and remember, patience is key. These small but important steps will ensure a smoother baking process and a better end result. It's all about setting ourselves up for success, right? And now, we're all set to start mixing our ingredients. The magic begins as we start mixing the ingredients. Our first step towards creating the delightful Pignoli cookies is to blend the almond paste with sugar. Now, almond paste is quite thick and heavy, so it's important to break it down into small pieces before we start. This will help us to achieve a smoother mix later on. Once the almond paste is broken down, we'll slowly add sugar, bit by bit, mixing it in thoroughly each time. The objective here is to ensure that the sugar is well distributed within the almond paste, giving our cookies a consistent sweetness throughout. This process might take a while and require some elbow grease, but the end result will be incredibly rewarding. Let's remember, patience is the key to perfect Pignoli cookies. Next, we'll add in the egg whites. Now this might seem like a small step, but it's crucial. The egg whites will bind the almond paste and sugar together, creating a dough-like consistency. It's important to mix until the dough is smooth with no lumps or bumps. Again, this might take some time, but it's worth it. Now, here comes the fun part, forming the dough into small balls. This is where you can let your creativity shine. Aim for about 1 inch in diameter, but feel free to make them a bit smaller or larger, depending on your preference. Finally, we'll roll our dough balls in a bed of pine nuts. This will give our cookies their signature look and add a delightful crunchy texture. Make sure that each ball is well coated and then place them on your baking sheet. With our cookies shaped and ready, it's time to bake. This is where the magic truly happens and our efforts are transformed into delicious, golden brown Pignoli cookies. So let's move on to the next step and get these beauties in the oven. The aroma of baking Pignoli cookies is sure to fill your kitchen with Christmas spirit. We're now entering the heart of our cookie-making journey, the baking process. This stage is where the magic truly happens, transforming our carefully mixed dough into delightful golden brown treasures. First, we'll place our cookie sheet in a preheated oven. The ideal temperature for baking Pignoli cookies is 325 degrees Fahrenheit. It's critical to preheat your oven to ensure even baking. Once your oven is ready, gently place the cookie sheet inside. Now, this is the time where patience is truly a virtue. We're aiming for a baking time of approximately 15 to 20 minutes. But remember, every oven is unique, so these times may vary slightly. Throughout the baking process, keep a keen eye on your cookies. What we're looking for is that perfect golden brown color. This hue is the telltale sign that your cookies are baked just right. They should be beautifully golden on the outside, with a slightly softer, lighter inside. Now, how do we know when our cookies are done? The trick is in the touch. Lightly press the top of a cookie. If it springs back, they are ready to come out of the oven. If it leaves an indent, give them a few more minutes. Baking is an art, not a science, so don't be disheartened if your first batch doesn't come out perfect. It's all part of the fun and festive baking experience. Remember, even the most experienced bakers had to start somewhere. And there you have it. Our cookies are baked to perfection, golden and crispy on the outside, yet soft and chewy on the inside. The sweet and nutty aroma wafting through your kitchen is a sign of a job well done. With our cookies baked to perfection, it's time for the final step. The last step is as important as the first one. It's true, isn't it? In fact, it's the perfect mantra when it comes to baking, and it holds especially true for our Pignoli cookies. Now, you might be tempted to dive right in as soon as they come out of the oven, but remember, patience is a virtue. These cookies need time to cool before they're ready to be served. Why, you wonder? Well, cooling allows the cookies to set, ensuring they hold their shape and develop that delightful crunch we all love. So, how long should you wait? Ideally, let them cool on the baking sheet for about 10 minutes. Then, transfer them to a wire rack to cool completely. This might take another 20 minutes, but trust me, it's worth the wait. And when they're finally cool and ready, serve them on a beautiful platter. These cookies are not just a treat for the taste buds, but also a feast for the eyes. Their golden color, contrasted with the white of the pine nuts, makes them a perfect centerpiece for your dessert table. Now, what if you've made a whole batch and there are leftovers? No problem. You can store these cookies in an airtight container at room temperature. They'll stay fresh and delicious for up to a week. If you want to keep them longer, you can freeze them. Just make sure to thaw them at room temperature before serving. And there you have it, the final step of our Pignoli cookie journey. It's a process that demands patience, but the end result is oh so worth it. These cookies are the perfect blend of sweet and nutty, with a hint of holiday cheer. So go ahead and serve these cookies with a warm cup of cocoa or a glass of dessert wine. They're sure to be a hit at your Christmas festivities. And there you have it, delectable Pignoli cookies to add sweetness to your Christmas festivities. Enjoy your homemade delight.